If you only came for entertainment, stop for a second. God led you here for a reason. Let's study.
All right, let's go all the way back. All the way back to the very first sentence of the Bible. 10 words in English, just 7 in the original Hebrew. It's a line so famous, so familiar that most of us just skim right past it thinking, yeah, I got it.
But what if? What if I told you that hidden inside those 7 original words is a kind of code, a foundational truth so potent it completely dismantles entire philosophies before they can even get off the ground? Today, we're going to unlock it.
We're using a 3-step method here, and the first step is observation. I want you to think of this as a forensic investigation. We're putting on the gloves, we're picking up the magnifying glass, and we're deliberately setting aside all our assumptions. We are not asking what it means, not yet. The only question on the table is this: what does the text actually say? Let's examine the evidence piece by piece.
And here it is. You can see the English we all know, and right below it, the transliterated Hebrew. That just means we're writing out the Hebrew sounds with our letters. Now, what's absolutely mind-blowing about this text is its stability. For thousands of years, from ancient scrolls found in caves to the Bibles we have today, these exact words have been preserved with astonishing accuracy. We are looking at the original data. So let's break it down, starting with that very first word, bereshit. Now, this Hebrew word isn't just some vague once upon a time. It means the absolute start, the singular, unrepeatable point from which all created reality explodes into being. Before this moment, there was no before. Think about that. Time itself hadn't been born yet. There was only God.
The next word, the verb, is bara. And listen, this is absolutely crucial. The Hebrew word bara isn't just our word to make. In the entire Old Testament, when it's used in this simple form, its subject is always God. See, humans can asa. We can make or build things from materials that already exist. But only God can bara. It means a divine, effortless creation of something totally new, bringing existence out of non-existence. And who is doing this unique creating? Elohim. But here's where it gets really fascinating. The im ending in Hebrew, that's a plural ending, kind of like adding an s in English to make a word plural. And yet, the verb bara is singular. So you literally have God's, he created. So what's going on? Well, scholars call this a plural of majesty. It's a way of saying that this one God is so immense, so powerful, that his being contains an infinite fullness, a singular God with plural power and majesty. And finally, what did God create? The heavens and the earth. Now, this isn't just talking about the sky and the ground. This is a classic Hebrew figure of speech called a merism. It's when you state two opposites to include everything in between. It's like saying from A to Z, or from top to bottom. So the heavens and the earth was the ancient way of saying everything. The whole shebang, the totality of all existence, all matter, all energy, all space, all dimensions, everything you can see and everything you can't. The entire cosmos. So, we've gathered the evidence. We've looked at the clues. We've seen what the text says. Now it's time for phase 2, interpretation. What does it all mean? Because you have to understand these words weren't spoken into a vacuum. And to really get their power, we have to understand the world they completely shattered. To feel the full impact, the shockwave of this verse, we have to kind of time travel. We have to hear it not with our 21st century ears, but with the ears of someone in the ancient Near East, a world swimming in violent, chaotic, and frankly bizarre stories about how everything began. Genesis 1 wasn't just telling a new story. It was picking a fight with every other story out there. Just look at this contrast. The pagan myths of places like Babylon and Egypt, they told stories about a whole crowd of gods, born from some pre-existing chaotic sludge, who fought these brutal, bloody wars to create the world from the corpse of another god. Seriously. In those stories, matter is eternal, and humanity is basically an accident, slaves created to do the gods' grunt work. And then, like a thunderclap in a silent library, Genesis 1:1 enters history. One God, above it all. No chaos, no fighting. He simply speaks, and reality springs into existence from nothing. Creation isn't some cosmic accident. It's a deliberate work of art. So, putting all of that together, what is the profound theological truth, the absolute bombshell that Genesis 1:1 detonates in the ancient world and is still detonating in ours?
The first revelation is the doctrine of creation ex nihilo. That's just the fancy Latin for creation out of nothing. This one sentence declares that time, space, and matter are not eternal. They all had a starting point. And that means only God is self-existent. Only God is eternal. It means the entire universe, every galaxy, every star, every single atom is completely and utterly dependent on Him. Not just for getting started, but for continuing to exist in this very second. The second revelation is just as fundamental, the absolute creator-creature distinction. This first draws a hard, bright line in the cosmic sand. God isn't in the tree, He made the tree. He isn't the energy of the cosmos, He created that energy. He is separate from, outside of, and infinitely above everything He made. This establishes the most basic relationship in all of reality. There's a creator, and then there's everything else. And it means worship can only ever flow in one direction, up. And just look at how this single sentence systematically dismantles entire worldviews. Atheism says no God. Genesis says God was here before anything else was. Polytheism says many gods. Genesis says one God, Elohim, created it all. Pantheism says everything is God. Genesis draws an infinite dividing line between the creator and the creation. Materialism says matter is eternal. Genesis says nope, matter had a beginning. It's a theological checkmate in one single move. Okay, so we've observed the text, we've interpreted its cosmic meaning, but this isn't just an intellectual exercise. This truth is meant to get inside of us and change us. So we come to the final and, frankly, the most crucial step, application. What does all this mean for you, for me, when we get out of bed tomorrow morning? It all boils down to this one life-altering truth. You are a creature, not the creator. And that's not a demotion, it's a liberation. So how does truly embracing that one fact change the way you face your stress, your fears, your whole day tomorrow?
Well, it means at least 4 profound shifts in your thinking. First, you move from ownership to stewardship. Your time, your money, your body, they aren't actually yours. You're just managing them for the real owner. Second, you move from the illusion of independence to the reality of dependence. Every single heartbeat is a direct gift. Third, you move from the despair of meaninglessness to the dignity of purpose. You were made for something by someone. And finally, you move from anxiety to trust, because the one holding you is the same one holding every molecule of the universe He spoke into existence. Think about your daily focus for a second. Is it a tight, shrinking circle of my problems, my plans, my stuff? Understanding Genesis 1:1 just explodes that little circle. It recenters your focus on the enormous reality of the Creator's power and the Creator's purpose, which have a way of putting your own concerns into their proper, much smaller perspective. Or think about the next time you face a big challenge. Your mind immediately does the math, right? You see the size of your problem, then you look at the size of your own resources, and you feel overwhelmed. But Genesis 1:1 adds a third, massive bar to that chart, the infinite power of the Creator who made everything from nothing. And suddenly the problem doesn't look so big anymore. It's not about your strength, it's about His. So here it is, the ultimate takeaway from this one sentence, the foundation of everything. You are not a random collection of molecules in a meaningless universe. You are not a cosmic accident. You are a divine artifact, intentionally designed and created by the same personal, powerful God who, in the beginning, created the heavens and the earth.